I think we've all heard the term YOLO, you only live once. And most people say this to justify doing something big and bold and courageous and crazy because you only have this one life on this earth to live. But instead of looking at you only live once as a means to do something wild on this earth side, we all die. We will all leave this world. We only get one shot at this world, and then comes eternity. Your life here, your one life you only live once, determines whether you either live twice or die twice. It puts a deeper spin on YOLO, don't you think? Hey, this life here on earth is but a vapor. I mean, just look at your life so far. I'm 32. I cannot believe I'm 32. Sometimes I still feel 6 years old. Sometimes I still feel like we are in 2009, the year I graduated. I'm like, what? It's 2024? I still feel like it's 2009. Where has the time gone? How is my oldest baby that I feel like I just birthed yesterday 5? It's gone. It's but a vapor. I have lived 3 decades on this earth, and it has gone by faster than I ever thought could be possible. And I think the part that everybody misses when it comes to YOLO is that once you die, everything that you did, every YOLO expression that you use to do whatever you want on this earth, it dies with you. It's done. It's over with. Everything you wanted on this earth, everything that you established on this earth is going to be destroyed when the earth and the heavens are destroyed. Everything is going to be gone. There's one thing that's eternal. There's one thing that's eternal, and that is Yeshua and his word. And the Father, the Creator. That's one thing that's eternal. This life, you're only living once, is a chance to choose true life. Truly only living once and forever. Your YOLO should not be to die twice. It should be to live twice. By not living once, by dying to yourself so you can live twice. But our master said that the people who love this world, they love death. And isn't that the truth? Because the term YOLO is usually used to break his commandments, to justify doing what you want, following after your own heart, breaking all of his commandments. And by doing that, you love the world and death, because all that breeds is death. You are living to die twice. And there are very few, and I pray, I'm not saying that I am, because that would be boisterous, and I boast in Yeshua HaMashiach, but I pray that my name is written in that book of life. I pray that I kill every tiny little piece of me so that I can live twice. And I can't help but think about my kids and the things that I want them to grow up to be. You get the answers like, I want them to grow up to be a functioning member of society. I want them to grow up to be a good person. I want them to grow up to be successful, blah, whatever you want your kids to grow up and do. Well, all of that's great. And it's fine. And they can be blessings because you can give back to people and you can love people. But that's not what I want to raise my kids to do. Because all those things, they go away. They're going to die. All those things mean nothing when you enter into the throne room at the end of time. At the end of this time. When you enter in the throne room, saying, I was a good person, I was a functioning member of society, I started 5 businesses, I gave to the poor, none of that's going to fly. So how can I help guide my children to choose life twice? The only thing that's eternal, the only thing that's eternal is the scripture, is Yeshua, is the Father. And he gives life. I want them to be so desperate for him so that they will be written in the book of life, so that they have an even closer relationship with the Father than I do. I want them to guide their children in the Word. I want them to pray first and then act later. I stay up at night thinking of how much of a failure it would be if my children grew up and died twice because they didn't choose Yeshua. They rejected his word. They didn't walk in a holy life. That would be the ultimate failure. The ultimate failure. So my job is to heed scripture when it says, teach the word to your children diligently. Talk about it when you wake up. Talk about it in the middle of the day. Write it on the door frames of your home. Talk about it when you're walking down the road. And that's why Proverbs says, my son, do not depart from your mother's teaching. My teaching and everything else I teach them on top of that is supposed to help them seek the word. Math, reading, science is supposed to help them grow deeper with the Father. It's supposed to help them grow closer to Yeshua. It's not to gain success. It's not to get the best education possible. Because if you get the best education possible and you don't get the Father's wisdom, it's all for nothing. You have empty wisdom. It's useless. It's worthless. It does not matter how many YOLOs you use for any situation. Your YOLO is going to be AFO. All for nothing. Nothing. It doesn't matter if you think you've had a good life. Once you come to the end of that life, all that's going to matter is if you sought the Father. Because that's all that's going to hold up. That's all that's eternal. Memories are not eternal. Time is not eternal. We all will be forgotten. Everything that we have done will be forgotten. The only thing that will not be forgotten is if we do it in Yeshua's name and we lead people to the Father and get names written in the book of life and help guide people to choose Yeshua, to choose the way of holiness, especially our children, to teach them when they grow up and they are met with truth and lies, that they can discern between the two. They can pick, that goes against the Father, that's a lie. That goes for the Father, that's the truth. And when somebody comes up to them and say, YOLO, you only live once, go do this thing, that they'll know that no. They will be able to see if it aligns with Yahweh's word or it doesn't align with his word, because his word isn't the instruction to life. It will be life for us. When somebody comes up to them and they say, oh, YOLO, that they choose living twice instead of just doing whatever your heart desires whenever your heart wants to do it. Because that's eternal. That lasts forever. I don't want them to just live once. I want them to live with Yeshua forever. Forever. Everything that they learn should be a reflection on the scripture. You read so you can read the scripture and ingest it and learn about him and figure out the instructions for life. Science, you learn about science so you can learn about how Yahweh created this world, all the little elements that he used to create this world. How cool. Just to prove him even farther. Learning about the medicine that the Father created to heal our bodies. We learn math because our Father's meticulous and he used the calculations to create the world. All these things need to point back to the Father, to give them a deeper understanding of him, to give them a deeper understanding of his world and how to live in it. And then, eventually, how to live in his new heavens and new earth. How to live with him forever. Because anything worldly gained is useless and it's going to die with the world and be forgotten. The only way to ensure that my children only live once in eternity is to teach them the word in every instance. Nothing wrong with adventures, but I just pray that my adventures and my kids' adventures lead them closer to the Most High and lead others closer to the Most High. Because that's what matters. That's what's eternal.